Eleonia Nightborn found herself inside the Academy's library once again. The library within the Academy contained almost all the known knowledge within all the nearby nations. It even contained some of the more obscure pieces of information gathered from distant lands. Ever since she was accepted into the Academy, Ellie has been spending as much time as possible inside of the library, trying to learn as much as she could about the Overflow. Though the library had a lot of information about the Overflow, many of it was anecdotal evidence from those who lived through it. There was no information related to what caused this nightmarish event to occur or how to stop it. Ellie, being part of the royal family, had a strong sense of duty and wanted to figure out a way to end the suffering of her people. Somewhere within these books, she hoped that there was information that would help her mother with creating a weapon to fend off the monsters during the Overflow. Damn it! Ellie slammed her fist on the table. I've been through nearly all the books that are connected to the Overflow and have come no closer to learning how to fight this. The problem was that Ellie wasn't sure whether the lack of information was due to natural reasons or unnatural ones. There may be nothing known about how to fight against such an event, or it may be connected to the mysterious organization that tries to prevent anyone from fighting the event. Getting up from the table, she stretched her arms and tried to shake off the sleepy feeling. Looking out the window and seeing the black night let her know that she had been inside the library for several hours. Looking around, the library was completely devoid of any fellow students. Most of the mana stones were turned off, so there was an eerie feeling to the area. Bookshelves created shadows to further represent the knowledge hidden from her. Taking the books that she grabbed, Ellie went to put them back where she found them. With how often she studied in the library, there was no need for her to grab one of the portable lamps. There was still plenty of ambient light to help her. To help prevent students from accidentally using a fire spell, the people who created the library created a magic suppression array. Only the mana stones would be able to work in this location, providing light for everyone. The place she was sitting at was a study area within the library. Set up in a corner, the area felt like a destination within a labyrinth, where the bookshelves were the walls that you had to traverse between. At the intersections, there were lamps placed with directions on where to go. Permeating throughout the library was the smell of aged books that had been inside of this place for ages. Walking down the paths caused an echo to be created from her walking on the wooden floors. Though she enjoyed being inside the library while there were students and teachers walking around, being inside here when it was empty was a lot better. Being a princess, Ellie always had to pay attention to how others perceived her, so she valued the moments of silence and emptiness that this place provided her. Finding the empty spot and inserting one of the books into it, she sighed, thinking about another dead end in her research. Walking away from the book, she continued towards the next spot. As she navigated her way through the bookshelves, she thought she heard a tapping noise. Hello? Is someone there? Ellie called out into the dark. It was unusual to hear any noise this late, which made her curious. After waiting for a reply and getting none, she shrugged her shoulders and continued deeper into the library. Reaching the spot, Ellie placed another book where she had grabbed it earlier. Each of those books were relatively thick, so her arms felt better for not needing to carry them. A part of her thought about heading back to her room and getting some sleep. Not being able to find any additional information that could help her mother was disheartening. Everything that she tried to do to learn more seemed to hit a dead end. Even the ruined city that she traveled to didn't have any useful information. Walking between the racks of books helped to clear her mind. Placing a hand on the books, feeling the rough texture of the cover as she walked down the aisle, she hummed a tune that her mother used to sing to her when she was a kid. Sounds of footsteps made her stop humming and looked behind her towards the sound. This time, the sound was clearly heard, which made her feel anxious. She could feel her heartbeat quickening as she stared into the darkness. Coming to the library at night and roaming between the shelves in the dark with only the ambient light to guide her was something she enjoyed, but now the darkness seemed sinister. "Whoever you are, I demand that you show yourself," she yelled into the void. The trembling in her voice gave away the fear that she was feeling. Listening to the silence, Ellie started to back away and decided that leaving the library quickly would be her best solution. Making sure to keep an eye on where she thought the sound came from, Ellie began to navigate her way to safety quickly. Her footsteps echoed, with each step making her feel a little more frightened about her current plight. What went through her mind was how she didn't hear anyone trying to pursue her, though she was getting away. A part of her wondered if maybe everything about this was just in her mind. Stopping at one of the intersections, where there were mana stones providing light, Ellie tried to steady her breathing. "There's no one here, Ellie," she tried to comfort herself. Thinking that someone was after her made her feel silly and childish for being afraid of the dark. This is what happens when you think that there is some secret organization covering up information, she nervously laughed. Feeling her heartbeat steady, Ellie smoothed back her hair and felt better about the situation. "Ellie, you're a princess, not a child that gets easily frightened," she scolded herself. "You should be frightened," a voice whispered into her ear. "Ah!" she screamed, scrambling away from the voice and dashing down an aisle. Her mind was scrambled, trying to understand what was happening. The usual calm and rational side of her was gone within an instant. Glancing back, Ellie didn't see anyone behind her, so she quickly ran into another aisle, trying to lose her pursuer. This library was like a maze, so if she could lose the person after her, then she would be safe for a time. Thoughts of being able to survive until students and library personnel coming into the library went through her mind. Checking to make sure that there was no one behind her, again, she was relieved to see that she wasn't being chased. She slowed her pace to lessen the sound of her footsteps. Looking away where she came, she turned her head and headed down the twisting aisle. Turning around the corner, the image of a figure standing beneath the light could be seen. Gasping in fright, she turned back the way she came, only to find another figure blocking her way. Backing into the corner of a bookshelf, Ellie desperately tried to create an ice spell to fire at them. It felt like she was trying to pull herself out of knee-deep mud, the way that mana in the air wasn't responding to her. "No, no, no, no!" she yelled out in frustration, her voice going up in octaves. Her head jerked back and forth as she looked at the two figures that were slowly walking towards her. "Why are you doing this?" she screamed at them, tears streaming down her face. "You will be a message to your mother," the figure to her left spoke quietly with no malice. "You should be thanking us for being so professional, considering how pretty you are," the figure to her right spoke menacingly. "If it were anyone else, they would likely have fun with you before killing you." When they got close enough, she used all of her strength to kick the figure to her left. The person easily caught her leg and gently stroked it. "There is no reason to be frightened. Though my partner enjoys the theatrics, I do not want to make you suffer. Your death will be swift and painless, so do not be scared. A beautiful princess like yourself should not be crying like that." The person released her leg and walked towards her. Placing a hand on her face, the figure whispered, "It is such a sad thing for a child to suffer the sins of the parent. Hopefully, your mother will understand that her attempts will only lead to heartache." "Is this about the overflow?" she cried out, wanting to understand the reasoning behind her death. The figure sighed in regret. "There is no need for you to know the reason. You will soon be passing on to the next life, where you will, hopefully, be happier and not have such an irresponsible parent. Looking at the figure to your right, they said, "Now gently place the hood over her head, so that she does not have to see what happens. There is no reason for us to be cruel." Snorting at the remark, the other figure pulled out a hood and placed it over Ellie's head. Ellie could smell a sweet scent that helped to relax her. Breathing in the aroma, she could feel a sense of drowsiness overcome her. "Please, you do not have to do this. We only want to protect everyone from the overflow," she tried to cry out. "It is sad that you will not understand how ignorant you are," a voice gently said to her as the consciousness drifted away.